Okay, here's a nightmare that happens way too often with outdoor wedding reception tents, especially in your own backyard. Let's just say that you got married in a church and you pulled up in your nice stretch limo, you get out, and your neighbor is me through. He's decided that this is the time he needs to cut his grass. His dogs are running around yapping and yapping. His kids are screaming bloody murder on their playground in the back. You think to yourself, okay, you go on, you walk into your tent, and you see bees all over your bar and your cake. So here are a few pointers on how to avoid that. The worst wedding I ever catered in a tent has to be the one that was done on horse farm property. And again, this is years and years ago, 19, 20 years ago, when I was first catering and only doing the catering part, not helping my brides and, figure out what they need to be doing on the property. So we get there and we're supposed to set up our food in the horse stable. Now they assure me that the horses have not been there for years, at least 3 years. And I'm thinking, okay, da-da. We get there and we set out our station with the food, and within not even 2 seconds, there are flies gathering everywhere. And I'm just, oh my God. And the entire evening was spent with us doing this, trying to keep the flies off, not very successfully, mind you. It was amazing that no one got sick. Probably besides that point about just checking out your own physical land and where you wouldn't have it, you need to check with your neighbors and make sure you're friends with your neighbors. And in fact, so friendly you invite them to your wedding reception. That way they can choose to either come to it or they can take a vacation that weekend and not have to deal with the noise and the partying and the people parking in their yard and all of that stuff that usually happens when you do a tent wedding reception in your home or on your property. I have had more than one wedding where the neighbor mows his yard at the time when the wedding is taking place, outdoors in the backyard. Yes, and I did go over and I calmly asked them to please not cut his grass for at least the next 15 minutes. But that shouldn't happen. Please just make sure you're good friends with your neighbors if you're trying to have a tent wedding. It will make peace in the neighborhood. So we already understand the property. The property needs to be animal free, like forever. You can do backyards, but sometimes backyards tend to get a little buggy. I would suggest, and I know nobody wants to hear this, but you need to spray. You need to spray like 3 weeks ahead and 2 weeks ahead and then like the day of, just to keep the little gnats down and the bees down. Here's another thought about bees. Bees love sweets and bees love beer. So if you're thinking of doing a keg, don't. Because when a keg overflows and makes a little pool around the little keggy part, bees just go to it like crazy. And you don't get in the way of a bee. Okay, you just don't. So what I always suggest is that you go with bottled beer and that you have a nice big garbage can nearby that all the empties could get thrown into. And the bees can go wild over there and leave you and your bar and your guest alone. Hi, Patty here. I thank you for watching. Hopefully you subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will be very happy to address them for you. I'm really enjoying doing this, so I hope you are too.